I'm Josh with Skid Pro. Today we're in the paint booth. We're taking a look at our industrial extreme duty Tine Grapple. It's not the traditional skeleton frame. It has no cross member supports. So a lot of farmers that like to handle manure or handle hay bales, even some tree guys, anybody that's digging into a pile that doesn't want that cross supports, this is a great grapple for those types of tasks. You know, when I look at it, I say, well, where do we start when we evaluate the product? As usual, we start with weight and frame. You know, that can't be substituted. Today's day and age with the big track loaders, your grapple's got to be heavy. You know, there's a lot of cheap grapples on the market. So let me show you a few differences about ours versus some of the cheaper ones on the market. So we start with frame and weight. This grapple, 72 inches, over 1,000 pounds. Very heavy. Where does that weight come from? Well, it's really all over. It's not just one thing. On this Tine Grapple specifically, it starts with the back frame because that's all it is. It doesn't have that cross member support and the additional gusseting to be able to withstand the pressure and the pushing of a big track loader. So that backer plate's got to be heavy. You know, we have 4x4 square tubing that runs along the top back, and that's tied down into here. As you can see, we get into the bottom frame, that what we call the Tine Holders. It spans almost 10 inches at the base. You can see we gusset it up at a 45 here, and that's what gives the strength of the tines themselves. Tine spacing on this grapple is right at 8 inches on center, so about 6 inches in between the tines. They're removable and replaceable, and so you could take every other one out and customize your tine width. Then we look at the grapple. The grapple is 1/2 inch thick. You can see it's got guards up on top. It also has the guards here, very well gusseted. That ties it in, gives it a lot of strength. The grapple itself, where it attaches to the loader, and the back plate, again, very heavy. It's 1/2 inch thick steel. We run that, we gusset that right back into the strength of that backer plate. Greasable pivot points on both of these as well. Cylinders, we use big industrial cylinders, not the ag cylinders. 2-inch bore, 1.25 rods, 10-inch stroke. We run heavy 1.25 pivot pins. You can see we got greasable pivot points here. We got the grease zerk and greasable pivot points in back. Same on both sides. Cylinder covers too. Cylinder covers are key. We don't just put a little, you know, a lot of companies will just put a couple bolts on the top of their cylinder, just a little cover. Ours are fully boxed, 360 degrees. That actually comes onto the cylinder, and it gives you protection from the side over here. And you notice I'm moving this, it's independent of the cylinder. And so when it takes a hit, the force of that impact is distributed out, and it doesn't come down actually on that cylinder rod or the cylinder ram itself. Really nice feature, just one of those little hidden things that those cheaper grapples simply don't have. Notice here we've got the fully protected hose routing, not only coming out of the center of the hose, but also each cylinder. You can see the hoses run underneath. They're protected by the cylinder covers, and right down into here you can see they're protected from the back as well, so they're fully protected from debris. They go down there, they pop right out the middle. They're protected the whole way. Not only do we give full cylinder protection on our grapples, but we protect them from brush coming through the grapple by running right there the full plated steel to keep debris and branches out of the cylinders. So here's another view of the grapple. It's much easier to see the strength of the inside, the plating, the gussets. You know, this grapple itself is all high tensile 80,000 plate steel. So it's already significantly grades above what the cheaper steel is. On top of that, these tines on the bottom, this is where all your stress is. They're 2.25 inches thick. You can see they're a massive tine. They're all bolt-on replaceable, so there's bolts in the back here, and you can unbolt and replace if you want to reduce the number of tines for a certain application. You can pull every other tine out and increase your spacing. They're made of a 1045 cold pressed steel. It's a high tensile, very, very strong teeth. We have a nice wide 32-inch opening on this grapple to be able to handle a large amount of debris. The grapples are independent and pressure sensing, so they do a great job of gripping uneven loads. If you have a stump on one side and brush on the other, it'll clamp down, the other one will continue to go. It does a nice job of adding more security to your load.